So,
speaking of gaming,
lastly, I guess, right?
Yeah.
This is it.
This is kind of just a news episode. We don't have anything.
GameStop.
Yeah.
They got some good journalism has been happening against GameStop. I don't know if against is the right word, but kind of against.
Not on their behalf.
It's definitely not paid for by them because they would hate it if people knew this. Do you want to go into details about what we've learned with that? I don't remember who exactly wrote the article.
Jason Schreier from Kotaku did a lot of
want to give credit.
Primary sources on GameStop.
Yeah.
Communicating
Interviews.
with GameStop employees, past GameStop employees, GameStop owners,
Yeah.
GameStop
looking at revenue numbers, looking at the quarterly reports, things like that.
Things like that. So he essentially GameStop has this program called the Circle of Life program.
Mm-hmm.
They started in 2016, which is I'm paraphrasing here because I don't have the facts in front of me. There's like 4 things that they need to do in order to keep the Circle of Life going for GameStop. So one is selling new games and consoles.
Yeah.
One is selling pre-owned games and consoles. One is buying pre-owned games and stuff to sell later, and one is their membership, right? The pro membership, things like that.
Yeah.
So paraphrasing, it's all that. It all goes together. It's in a big circle. It says this will affect. Buying new games will affect our sale of old games, and buying old games will affect our sale of new games, and pushing membership on people will affect all that, and it goes around and round and round.
Right.
And their goal with every sell is to hit at least
a quota
of those things specifically, which is standard for every business. I mean, that's not anything that's off the wall.
But the way they achieve it is a little bit suspect. The way they've been getting their quotas in certain stores.
25% of their sales of their revenue from 2016 was pre-owned games and consoles, I believe.
Yeah.
So that's a quarter of their sales. So they're looking for that, and essentially what the example that they gave in the report was they push their employees so hard to push pre-owned games as opposed to new games that sometimes people will get fired when they don't do that. And the specific example they said was if Watch Dogs 2 is $25 new, and they have a used copy of Watch Dogs 2 for $55, they will push the used copy on a customer, and say that they do not have a new copy. Therefore, the customer will pay $30 more
for the game that's on sale or that is cheap or new. Just to keep because anytime that they sell a new game, it messes with the ratios and the quotas.
Yeah.
Because it's all based off their overall revenue. And so if they sell a new game, it hurts their other...
it hurts the Circle of Life.
Yeah, it hurts the circles of life, essentially. And so there may have been some sketchy business where parents who go in for their kids who don't know anything about the gaming industry, who don't know what they're doing, come in and are taken advantage of by GameStop employees to benefit the Circle of Life. And that's where it's suspect, and that's what we don't like to hear.
So the whole article and everything I've seen so far, literally the only problem I have with it is that they will tell somebody they don't have a game that they have inventory of just to sell a used copy. Right.
To me, that's lying. That's deceitful business practice.
That's the only issue I have a problem with. I don't have a problem with I don't consume GameStop. I try not to. I don't like them as a company because of this. But the only ethical problem I have is that I don't care that they try to push used copies. That makes sense. That's where they make all their money.
Sure.
I don't care that they try to push the membership. That makes sense. That's where they make all their money. So some of this stuff can be taken with a grain of salt, I think, if you take a step back and try to understand it.
Sure.
But the biggest problem I have is when they lie to customers. And that's the thing you brought up I didn't even think about. It's so easy to lie to a parent that knows nothing. Think how many 12-year-old kids have M-rated games because parents just
don't understand.
They don't understand.
They don't care to understand.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
What industry or what media their kids are consuming.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I was a kid and I told my parents this game is $25 and they went into the GameStop and they're like, we don't have this one for $25. Here's one for $55. My parents would just walk out like, no.
Right. They wouldn't buy it for the higher price.
No.
But there has to be some who would, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
And to me, that's who this is taking advantage of. Because if I walk into GameStop and I'm trying to buy a new copy and I see it's on sale and it's like $20 and they try and push this other one on me, I'm gonna be like, no, I'll buy it off Amazon. I'll go to Meijer, which almost always has really good prices for video games.
Meijer does. GameStop has the largest selection.
Right.
GameStop has the largest selection of anyone around.
Very true. Except for Amazon. Because Amazon has everything.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I am very much, I feel like an informed buyer when I go in there. But I've been in there when I see people who don't know what they're talking about, who don't know what's going on. And they really rely on the employees to tell them the truth, to inform them of the best value, what you're actually getting. And it seems like that's been suspect.
So the Circle of Life, I found out, is there's 4. So the program called Circle of Life gives each GameStop store different percentage quotas for pre-orders, reward card subscriptions, used game sales, and game trade-ins. So everything in the Circle of Life is all about used copies. Mm-hmm. The Circle of Life is the only way that GameStop makes money, because retailers don't make a lot of money selling brand new games.
Right. Part of the revenue was that, but the majority was not.
Yeah. So each of these quotas is based on the store's total transaction. Pre-orders and reward card subscriptions are based on a number of transactions, while used game sales and trade-ins are based on a total dollar value of transactions. If a store's quota for used game sales is 30%, and the store sells $1,000 worth of merchandise, GameStop expects at least $300 of that merchandise to be pre-owned.
300, yeah.
So if you went in and you bought a PS4, and you bought a PS4 VR, that's already $800. And you bought this 2 new, that's a failure for GameStop. They just got $800, probably $900 of tax and everything, not to mention a game. So about $1,000. You buy a brand new PS4, brand new PSVR, 2 games, $1,000. If any of that is new, if all that is new, they failed. Right. That manager, that salesperson failed.
Right, well, it just makes their job harder because they have to meet the quotas.
Yeah.
And that raises how much money those quotas have to be now. So, I don't know. It just... I don't know. I just don't like this. I've never been really a huge fan of GameStop. I wish we had more options. Really, I mean, they really have the market cornered.
There's nothing. There's no other
nothing that directly competes with it. I mean, like Best Buy and Walmart and Target, they all have video games.
You know what I hate about all of those, except for maybe Best Buy, is that they put them behind the glass case.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see the game.
I want to look at the back.
I mean, at this point, I actually went to GameStop yesterday because it was my birthday, and I'm like, I might want to go buy a game, and my wife's like, I'll buy you one. It's your birthday. I'm like, cool. And I went over there and I looked through all the games. Like, there's literally nothing I want. Like, and we're walking out, and I'm like, first world problems, but I know all the games I want to buy, and I buy them because I have a salary and because I have money, and I'm an adult. Right. So if I go, I have games to play. I don't need a new one, right? But I kind of wanted something fresh. Because we do the podcast, because I'm so in tune with the gaming industry. I know what's out there.
When things are coming out,
I know what I want.
We budget for it when it comes out. If we want to buy it when it drops.
Yeah. So GameStop doesn't mean anything to me.
Right.
Because I'll go out and buy a game new that I've saved up money for. I can buy it anywhere I want. I don't sell my games. I don't sell my hardware.
Yeah.
Because GameStop has awful trade-in value.
They do. I did trade in some old games last weekend, and I went to Half Price Books to do it because they give me better prices.
Yeah.
Slightly, but better. Yeah. And I like Half Price Books better than GameStop. So anyways.
We don't like GameStop in general. We've talked about how we don't like them before. Yeah. But I can see as like a high school student, if you go in there...
that's your option, right?
Yeah, that's your option. There's like Walmart, but you can only buy them new there.
Right. And
Game Exchange.
Meijer has games that are used.
Do they? Best Buy does now.
Best Buy does too. So they're starting to open up in other places, but they aren't specialized stores. And people like when I want to go buy video games, usually I would gravitate towards a specialized store for video games as opposed to like a giant supermarket. You know,
you can get them faster at a supermarket. You go to Meijer and you say, I want this game. They say, okay, I'm gonna get it out of the shelf.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pay for it. You go to Best Buy or you go to GameStop. You find the game. You wait in line behind 3 12-year-olds and their parents that are buying them rented games. You get up to the counter. They say, are you a Pros member? Do you want to be a Pro member? You want to do a subscription? You want to do this? No. Here's $60. I'm leaving. That's all I want to do at GameStop.
Right.
Never happens.
Yep.
Anyway, I don't like GameStop.
Yeah. I think we're both in agreement on that.
You shouldn't like GameStop either. Person.
Listening.
Especially, well, GameStop is now producing games. They made Song of the Deep with Insomniac.
Huh.
And I hear it's very good. I didn't buy it. It was also like $40.
I heard good things about it.
So they're trying to further their business goals, one game at a time, I guess. But
it just, I mean, their motto is power to the players, right?
Yes.
But I feel like that's like they're speaking through their teeth. Like,
is that still the motto?
Yeah. There's no way that's really.
Who knows?
That's not really what they're trying to do. I mean, to me, my impression of GameStop is that they like crush players. They give them crap back for the trade-in value.
That's true.
For anything you do.
Mm-hmm.
They try and take advantage of you at every turn.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I get a bad feeling. And it doesn't help that the GameStop that is close that I usually go to when I have to go to GameStop, some of the employees in there just drive me absolutely insane.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't like going in there just because of the service I get in that one specifically. I've been to GameStops before.
What do they do?
They talk like they know what they're talking about.
Oh.
And they're
like, listen here, I'm a professional podcaster.
Well, I don't
know
say
what
that.
I'm talking about.
I don't say that.
You got to.
But they talk to me like I don't know what I know. They talk to me. They talk about. I don't know. They're trying to like sell all the DLC and the season passes and stuff. Like it's such a good deal. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm gonna get it when I get it. Then they try and sell me like the protection policy. Like, no, I take care of my games. Like, and they come across.
Well, first of all,
like I'm an idiot for not doing it.
Why do you need a protection policy? Everything's Blu-ray.
Right.
Those things will play if they're bent in half.
Right. I mean, they're way more sturdy than DVDs were back in the older days and CDs before that. So I just every time I go in there I get a bad feeling. They talk down to me and they make me feel like I'm an idiot for not pre-ordering, for not getting the protection plan, for not buying the season pass with the game. You saved this one. Like I know the spiel. You gave this to me a month ago last time I was here. I know everything that I know you're trying to sell me stuff. I get it. Just let me get my game. Let me walk out.
Sounds like you should stop going.
I don't go very often.
I don't go either.
I mean,
also
very rarely do I actually
not
go to
only
GameStop
doesn't always have midnight releases of games I want, but they're always released at midnight at like Walmart or Meijer.
I know.
Or Target.
Because I actually prefer honestly Meijer to get video games.
Yeah.
Because for instance, when Call of Duty Black Ops 2 dropped, we were in college.
Yeah, we were.
And I remember we went to Meijer to get it, or I did. I don't know if you were with me. I went with a few of my college buddies, and we drove by the GameStop on the way to Meijer, and literally there was a line outside the door wrapped around the entire front strip of that mall area.
Yep.
And all these people are standing in line. And the few times I've done midnight releases with GameStop, and the few times I've done midnight releases with GameStop, I've always had problems with them.
I have some
good
experiences.
Like when Destiny dropped, I had so much trouble. I had waited in line for an hour and a half, finally got to the desk, and they said, oh, you were supposed to get this receipt checked, and you have to get like this thing. And all they said in the line was, you need to make sure your receipt has highlighter on it. And I looked down, and mine had highlighter on it. So it looked like it was fine. So I go through the entire line. Then I had to go back to the end of the line again after waiting in line for an hour and a half. I go home at like 2:30.
Bedtime.
And I have to download the update for Destiny.
That's true.
So then I don't even get to play after all this time. So that was the last time that I did a midnight release with them because I was so mad.
See, I had a good experience with Destiny, or some game around there, because they had all the extra like Destiny paraphernalia, like lanyards and necklaces and posters. So I got a cool Destiny poster. I didn't get a necklace because why would I get a necklace?
You don't wear necklaces.
Who wears necklaces?
Girls.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't get a necklace.
Sometimes guys.
Yeah, I guess. But Destiny necklaces?
I don't know.
No, thank you.
Okay, I'm done ranting about GameStop.
Until next week, when something else happens.
We'll see.
Anyway.
I'm done in this episode.
Thanks for listening.
Yep.
You can leave us a comment here on SoundCloud.
You can
listen to us on iTunes, Stitcher, and all other podcast services. You can find us on Twitter at Underpaid Gamers Podcast. Find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, searching for Underpaid Gamers. We're on YouTube. I just said that.
We have a website,
Underpaid Gamers Podcast .com.
This is underpaidgamers.com.
Underpaidgamers.com.
And if you want to send us an email, underpaidgamerspodcast@gmail.com.
Listen, I do this every week, and
you messed this one up.
They get jumbled.
That's all right. So we're out there. Contact us. We'd love to hear from you guys. We already have some guys who talk to us regularly, and it's always really fun, and it's good.
If you tweet at us and say, hey, let's stream sometime together, I'll say, yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Twitch. Do we say Twitch?
We're on Twitch. Underpaid Gamers.
Yeah. We stream usually Monday nights. Not always.
We'll see.
We'll see what happens.
We've had some changes happen recently.
Some things in our lives have gotten a little crazy, but
so we'll see what happens.
Just check during the week. We'll usually tweet about it.
Yeah. I normally tweet when I go live.
Mm-hmm. So thanks. See you guys later.
Bye.